Hi guys, yeah, Jay from Average Jay. 10 days later after Tahoe 200. Quick report from my side, and then a lengthy documented report, race report that I've left underneath here that I suggest you guys grab a beer or a coffee if you want to go and delve into all of that. We've got some great footage from Scott Robus and a couple of the other guys I ran with, some great photos, and I think a good explanation of the Tahoe 200 course. Um, Tougher than I ever imagined. And as you can see over my left shoulder here, 10 days later, and we're having snow at 6,500 feet. So still here in Incline Village in Lake Tahoe, which is about 145-mile mark on the 200. Yeah, 10 days, finally kind of recovering. My one foot's still a bit sore. It's really tough. At about 35 miles or 32 miles or whatever it was, we had a river crossing. Went through there, got my brand new shoes and socks wet. The next aid station up at Sierra Tahoe, which snowed, funnily enough, the day after we finished running. My socks and drop bag got wet, and so I had about 50 miles in wet socks and shoes, which just tore up my feet on the shell. And yeah, from Heavenly, which was halfway 103 miles, I realized that my target time of 82 hours was pretty much out the window. And I would just have to be happy with the finish, which we were well in time of. And in fact, the last two segments I really did quite slowly, and we had a nice, I think, 5 or 6 hour sleep on the Monday night through the storms, just to be able to, not have to fight the dark and the storms and the rain in the last day to come home in 97 hours. So, all in all, the experience is incredible. It's not a race that I would recommend for average Joe, let alone average Jay. It's something that when you're out there, you'll know if you can do it or not. And I think that is depicted on the finishes. I think only 68% of the field finished. And from what I hear, majority of those that withdrew on the first day. Kind of one of those sayings, if you want to run at the big dogs, don't piss like a puppy. So, yeah, it was tough first day. We got lost. I don't even know how many miles extra I did. I know my Strava just before it died coming down the hill said about 370 odd kilometers. So about 230 miles I ended up doing. Not the advertised 205.5. But yeah, as I say, I got lost on the Friday. Then we had a crazy storm, which you'll see some footage of in the blog. And I think after that, I did hear and I did see one or two people did have hypothermia. And I'm sure a lot of the guys just decided after that, well, this is just not fun, going through Desolation Valley and or Desolation Wilderness and Rubicon and stuff like that. Because after the rain went away, of course, it was clear sky and really cold. So yeah, all in all, I mean, it's what we signed up for. We came out here to do something really difficult, and I think I got that. I think the experiences, and as you'll read in the blog, the stories that unfolded and the people that I met were incredible. And yeah, it was really tough. Something that I know most people can't do, but once you've done it and you realize that you are able to do it, you almost feel obliged. Yeah, it's a really weird feeling. But coming over that last hill with, I think it was 5 or 6 kilometers to go, it was the first time that I had, some emotion in my running, and it was a great experience, and something that I suppose is addictive, as is running. But yeah, the pain levels were good. I suppose like childbirth, you forget those pretty quick. And yeah, my last two and a half days was tough out there. But all in all, it's a really well organized run. Candice puts on a really great show. The aid stations were incredible. The volunteers out there, the medical staff, Tom Nodi and those guys, really looked after us. The competitors were incredible. I mean, I met lifelong friends through really hard times and some bear experiences. And yeah, it's great to see that there's other people out there that are searching for things that are really hard, really difficult, and fascinating to meet and bump into some of the real rock stars of ultra running, who I suppose are upgrading from Badwater, which I still want to run, to 200 miles. And yeah, it was great to meet and bump into these guys. with my goals of running Badwater next year, and they're going, well, they're on the 200 milers. I'm kind of doing it back to front. But all in all, it was just an incredible experience. I think to be able to come out here a few weeks before and acclimatize and to get used to the poles and the terrain, and to actually just do the workouts up here, at this altitude and these kinds of elevation gains. Well, it was, like I say, it's the only reason I finished. I think that's the biggest shock for anybody when you come out here. You kind of look at the profile and it's going to be tough, but you just don't realize how high you are and how difficult it is and how fit you need to be. So yeah, those were incredible weeks, and that got me through. You'll see in the blog, I think I exceeded my own body. Some of my own shoes have started delaminating, and my poles definitely looked a little secondhand by the end. So these are things that are supposedly tried and tested by the guys that do trail running. But as I've come to realize, this is not trail running. This is not ultra marathons. They call this endurance running, and I think that's probably the right word for it. So yeah, the blog's taken me 4 or 5 days to write, longer than the actual run. But like I say, crack open a beer or grab a coffee and have a read and have a look at some of the content that we've put in. I think it should be quite interesting. And yeah, for me now, 5 weeks, still 5 more weeks I think I'm going to take off. Really get fat and unfit. I need to start looking into doing my training program going into next year. Obviously focusing on heat training. And yeah, then we'll start up again when we're back in Cape Town in late October. And yeah, the process starts again, 8 months. Hopefully Badwater Committee will have a look at what I've done and what my running CV is, and allow me into what is the big dream and has been for the last 3.5 years. And then we can go out there and fight the Death Valley in the middle of summer next year. But to you guys, we'll cross again, I suppose, when I'm back in Cape Town and back on the training. Thank you all for your support. The Facebook messages have been incredible. Marissa was incredible out there to read that all out to me, to be there for me as a support. And yeah, you'll see some adventures we had. She decided to take on 2 of probably the toughest stages in the entire 200, an 8.5-hour section, and on 2 of the most scary and crazy climbs I've ever seen in my life. And then through one of the Sierra Nevadas first and biggest lightning storms on the last night. So thanks to her and thanks to all you guys for the support. It's been incredible, and I look forward to having you along on the remainder of the journey to get to Badwater next year and beyond. So you'll see at the bottom of the blog, I think the goals are starting to be reset slowly but surely, and the training plan needs to just now follow. But looking forward to be back in Cape Town in South Africa, seeing all our old friends, and summer, obviously, as you can see. Look at the snow. This is just crazy, man. So winter's arriving at a rapid rate of knots here in Tahoe, and as I would say, end of the season. All the skiers are going to be out, and snowboarders are going to be out. Trail runners are going south. We're flying south. But yeah, thanks guys. Have a great time and a great running weekend. And we'll see you all back in Cape Town. Thanks. Bye.